mind run riot while we try to practice. Cool, we're going to meet Sukhasana. We're going to meet in the easy posture. You're going to sit up nice and tall. So let's start at the base. Find ourselves a nice comfortable seat. If you want to grab a prop to sit on, if you want to grab a little meditation cushion, that's great, or a pillow. Let's try and get the ankles underneath the knees. So we're going to wrap ourselves up a little bit. Get the pelvis nice and neutral. Close the eyes. And on your next inhale, sweep the hands up the sides of the walls. Let's reach up to the sky, bringing the hands to prayer above the head. And on your exhale, lower the prayer down all the way to the heart center. Press the breastbone into the thumb as you inhale, lifting the heart, lifting the crown of the head. As you exhale, relax the shoulders and gently lift the back of the skull. Not to bow the head down, but just to allow the back of the neck to be nice and long. Head stacked above heart, heart above pelvis. And take a few nice deep breaths. Maybe to help us center, maybe to help us ground, or for no other reason than taking a few nice deep breaths just feels good. And whatever brought us to the practice, whatever brings you to Hatha Yoga, to allow a little bit of celebration, and allow the body, the mind, and the breath to rejoice in the fact that we're alive. And even though it might be a Monday morning, and Mondays do come with a lot of despite what we may need to face today, we are alive. And where there is life, there is hope. Because when we reach obstacles, where there is hope, there is the possibility of change. All we need to do is look back at all of the spiritual writings, everything that we can find from the dawn of time. And it tells us that the creative spirit's true manifestation is that of change, moving from one form to another, from one place to another. So let's continue and honor that spirit of creation, honor that spirit of growth, by releasing the hands from prayer and sweeping them up the sides of the walls. And let's reach up to the heavens and have a nice big stretch. Stretch like we were just waking it up. Reach up with the right and reach up with the left. Let's spread the fingers nice and wide. Take another nice deep breath here. Open up the heart, roll the shoulders back. And on the exhale, bring the hands to prayer. And then lower the prayer down through the center line. Resting the prayer once again at the heart center. And we're going to open up with the chanting of one Om. Let's inhale through the nose. We give thanks to our teachers. We give thanks to the lessons that have come down through the ages. We take those lessons and breath by breath, motion by motion, and we combine them into our daily lives. Taking care not to cause harm, to be a bastion of truth. Releasing the hands from prayer. Let's push the hands up in front of us. And let's wiggle the fingers. Palms down, just get the fingers going. Into the little finger, into the ring finger, into the middle finger, into the index finger, and into the thumb. Rotate through the wrists, roll them. You can roll them both in the same direction. You can roll them in opposite directions. Choice is yours. What feels good at the moment? Just get the wrists moving. Move them forward, move them backwards, move them side to side, rock them from side to side as well. Just note how they feel. Note how the shoulders are starting to feel when you're holding the arms up. And note how the navel feels. Note how the sit bones feel. It's always starting to collapse into the lower back. On your inhale, sweep the hands up. Let's lengthen the body. Once again, twirling the navel in, lifting the heart, maybe squeezing the bum a little bit. And exhale, bring the hands back down in front of us, palms facing down. We're going to take the right hand underneath the left wrist, wrap the finger, or put the thumb into the palm and wrap the fingers around the thumb and rotate the wrist. It's Monday. Talking's going to be hard. English is going to escape me. But damn it, I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep practicing. Because that, for me, is the spirit of yoga. Not giving up and not succumbing to those obstacles. Change direction. Let's go the other way. A good 10, 15 circles. A good 3, 4 breaths. Bring some warmth into the wrist joints. Maybe if going in a circle isn't the right thing, maybe you want to try a figure of 8. Just get that wrist moving. Get those pops and creaks out. Then let's swap it over. Take the left hand underneath the right wrist, bring the thumb into the palm, wrap the fingers around the thumb. We once again rotate. Both ways. Well, the wrists and the ankles are very interesting things because they've got such an intricate structure. So let's not damage that structure by forcing or trying to go too fast. Take your time, just rotate, move. Figures of 8, side to side. Test your range of motion. Test what the wrist can do. 2 more breaths. And then on the next inhale, let's sweep the hands up again, lengthen out. And exhale, bring the palms down to the knees this time. If your shoulders were sore from holding the arms up that long, let's roll them back. If they weren't sore, let's roll them back anyway. Check into the chest, the shoulder blades, the armpit, the top of the shoulder, the bicep, the tricep. Let's change direction, go the other way. Just having a nice roll. If you'd like something a little bit more challenging, maybe roll the right shoulder forward and the left shoulder back. Or maybe swap that over again and go left, back, right, forward. Or whichever the opposite way is. I can't remember which way I went first time now. Just having a bit of play. Moving a little bit higher, let's relax the shoulders, get into the neck. And let's slowly nod the head, yes. Really shaking out all of those cobwebs. Come back to center, let's move the head, no. Chin to shoulder, chin to shoulder. If this is okay, and we can take it a little bit further, let's roll the neck, drawing some nice big circles with the nose. Once again, not forcing, not pushing, but just mobilizing, letting gravity do the work, letting the motion do the work. No strain. One more breath. And then come back to center. Let's take our eagle arms. So we're going to come first into cactus, opening up the palms to the front of the mat, pulling the elbows back. Let's go left over right first. So we take the left elbow over the right and wrap the arms together. You can either point the fingers up to the sky or just grab hold of the shoulder blades and then give yourself a little bit of a rock from side to side, a little mini twist. So make sure we're not collapsing to the lower back. Mula Bandha, the lower pelvic floor squeezes. Uddiyana Bandha, navel to spine, we squeeze. We start to lift the elbows, reaching the fingers up, 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 up. And let's reach the fingers all the way up. Lift the elbows all the way up so the hands wind up unbinding. Reaching up to the sky. Exhale, we come back down into cactus. And let's go the other way. Take the opposite elbow over the top. Once again, gently rock from side to side. As you inhale, start to lift the elbows, slowly stretching out the back. The bind doesn't have to be strong, just allow it to give you a little bit of resistance as we reach up and reach up And reach up and uncross the arms and exhale. Bring the hands down the side of the body this time. All the way down, resting the fingertips of the palms next to the bum. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart. Maybe even walk the little fingers back towards each other. Moving the palms, moving the fingertips around the back of the body. Inhale, let's look up to the sky. Take a baby back bend. Activate through the lower back. Activate through the mid back and try not to collapse into the back of the neck. Keep the chin gently tucked in so the back of the neck is still lengthening as we open up the heart. Last breath here. And exhale, we're going to come forward and fold. So sweeping the hands in front of us. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, drop the head down and around. 2 breaths. 1 into the lungs, 1 into the back of the body. Exhale, round. We don't often round in yoga, so be careful. Just give the spine some space, and as you inhale, separate the ribs, expand with the body. As we exhale, we round and dive. And on the inhale, come back to seated. Vertebra by vertebra, we lengthen the body. And then we're going to send the legs out nice and long in front of us as we come into our Dandasana, our staff pose. You might want to walk the sit bones back a little bit, get some length into the back of the legs, pressing the palms or the fingertips down into the ground. Once again, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, lift the crown of the head up. We want a nice sort of 90-degree angle here. Inhale, reach the crown of the head up. Exhale, melt the shoulder blades down the back. 1 more breath, just to give us that little bit of structure. And then we're going to go a little bit deeper by bending into the right knee and bringing the right knee up into the chest. Wrap the fingers around the shin, pop the right foot off the ground. And much like we rotated the wrists, we're going to rotate the ankles. Using the ankle here to guide the motion. Make sure you've gone in both directions. At least 3 to 5 circles per direction. And then once we've done that, we're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh and bring the right hand to the right ankle, the left hand to the toes. And we're going to crank the ankle. I use the word crank, although that is quite harsh. But when we're using the ankle to guide, now we're going to use the hand to guide. You might find your range of motion feels a little bit deeper. That's good. Don't force it, don't push it, just roll it. Change direction. Make sure that we've gone in both ways. Maybe explore the sole of the foot. Arch, the heel, balls of the foot. And then sitting up nice and tall again. Make sure we've activated the left leg. Take the right hand to the right knee and the left hand to the right ankle, and let's start to feather into the hip. Just bouncing it up and down. Once again, not forcing, not pushing, but just creating a little bit of kinetic motion. So then get a little bit of warmth in there, a little bit of play into the hip. Of course, if you want to take it deeper, we slide the right heel a little bit closer to the ball and socket joint. You'll find that it'll immediately put a little bit more pressure onto the knee, a little bit more pressure onto the ankle. So be careful, just play. Remember, it's cold out there. That's why we're warming up. We want to take care of our bodies. If this is good and we want to take it a little bit further, we can lift the right leg up and move it from side to side, or maybe draw a few circles. Once again, just checking in with the range of motion, allowing the hip to do all of the work, the hands just guiding. If you want to take it a little bit higher, we can slide the right foot into the crook of the left elbow, and then bring the shin a little bit closer to the chest. Once again, not collapsing, not rounding into the lower back, but lifting the heart, rolling the shoulders back, finding space in the body, space in the hip. Last breath here, and we're going to take a forward fold. So bringing the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh, the heel up to the bum. Inhale, lift the heart and sweep the hands above the head. On the exhale, we're going to take the hands either to the knee or the shin or the ankle. And then we're going to lift the heart, lengthen the lower back, and with a straight spine and with a straight left leg, open up the right hip and fold forward. The hips, the heart, the head, all facing down the left leg. 3, and 2. And on the next inhale, let's come back up to seated. Slowly but surely, we lift the heart, and let's swap this over. Send the right leg out, and bending into the left knee, we get the left knee up into the chest and the foot off the ground. Roll through the ankle one way, and roll through the ankle the other. It's worth taking our time here. It's worth paying the attention. We don't want to get to a stage where in our lives where arthritis becomes a crippling thing. And just by using these little bits of motion, even if there is a bit of arthritis in there already, we can slowly start to loosen it, move things around. That's why we don't force, that's why we don't push. Crossing the ankle over the thigh, inhale, sit up nice and tall. Once again, we're going to go to the ankle, right hand to the toes, left hand to the left ankle. And if you're sitting on a cold floor like me, it's going to be really nice to get the hand to the toes. Use the ankle, use its range of motion, and go both ways. Noting pops, clicks, noting discomforts. Not trying to beat them into submission, but maybe just treating yourself with that little bit of compassion. Now into the hip, moving the right hand onto the left ankle, the left hand onto the left knee. We can start to gently feather it. This is our first stage. Maybe we want to get that heel a little bit closer to the ball and socket joint. Let's start to try and see if we can find that openness of the hip, the flexibility of the knee that offers us the lotus posture, that offers us the half lotus. Maybe we want to take it up that little bit higher, activating the left ankle, picking the left leg up and gently rocking through the hips, side to side, or rotating. Just playing with it. Playing with the lower back, checking what's happening with the buttocks. If we want to go that little bit higher, taking the foot into the elbow, lifting the shin towards the heart. 2 more breaths. Of course, if you want to take the foot behind the head, feel free to do so. Not in my practice, not today. And exhale, count down. Soles of the feet together, Uttanasana. And once again, we're going to let the knees fly. Get them into a little bit of a flap.
We have to bend over the right leg first.
Oh, Shepard, you're right. Sorry, I forgot. Thank you. Back into that same position. That was with the right leg out. Thank you. I totally forgot the forward fold. Sweep the hands up nice and long. What would I do without you guys? Exhale. Finding the knee, the shin, the ankle. Sit bones go back. And exhale. Heart and head come up and then forward. It's my own fault for getting excited about the standing sequence. As soon as we get that little bit of heat going into the body, I'm like, all right, let's go and flow. Monday. You're never convinced that I was an idiot. Now you know it's true. Last nice deep breath. And then coming back up. Right. Uttanasana, soles of the feet together. And once again, gently flap. Lift the heart. And the temptation here is to drop it around. But if you can, sit up nice and tall. Uttanasana. Reaching the crown of the head up to the heavens. 2. And 1. Up onto all fours. So either swing the feet to the side, crossing the legs, rolling over the knees, whichever is good. Find your way up into our tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders, high wrists. Knees underneath the hips, tops of the feet to the mat. Inhale. We find our concave curve. Dropping the belly down, rolling back through the shoulders, opening up the heart. On the exhale, let's start with the hips. Tuck the tailbone in. Let's lengthen through the tops of the thighs. Separate the shoulder blades and lengthen through the back of the neck to look down towards the feet. Inhale, cow pose. Tailbone out, belly down, chest forward. Exhale, cat pose. Tailbone in, navel in. Back of the neck lengthens, head drops. 3 more. Every vertebra. Say hi to the spine. And 2. And then moving into our extended child's pose. Dropping the bum down towards the heels. Walk back if you like. And then allow the belly and the chest to melt over the thighs as we release the forehead down to the ground. Press with the hands and send the tailbone back. So we can be nice and active here. Rolling the shoulder blades away from each other, creating space in the back of the body. Take a side body stretch. Inhale, look forward towards the hands. You can open up the knees a little bit if you like, and then step the hands to the left-hand side of the mat. Push backwards with the left hand as you reach forwards with the right hand, lengthening out the right-hand side of the body. Inhale. Find length in the back of the neck as you stretch. 2. And 1. Let's swap it over. Bringing the hands back through the center. Place both hands on the right side of the mat, together if necessary. And then press backwards with the right hand, sending the bum to the heels, and reach forward with the left hand, lengthening out the left-hand side of the body. You might find that the spine will start to banana slightly, and that's fine. As long as it feels good, as long as you're not hurting yourself, enjoy that little bit of space, enjoy that little bit of breath, enjoy the liberation of the nervous system from all around the left-hand side of the spine. Take a nice deep breath, inhale. And then coming back to center. We work into our first downward facing dog. Tucking the toes under, let's pop the knees off the ground and send the sit bones up and back. As you exhale, release the heels down. Maybe taking half a step in, depending on how flexible you're feeling today. Pull the navel in. Let's lift the tailbone, lift the sit bones up nice and high. As you exhale, lengthen the back of the neck by gently doing a shoulder press. So drop the head down, roll the shoulders away from the ears, put a little bit of softness into the elbows. 2 more breaths. And 1. And looking forward towards the hands, bend both knees. Let's take a stroll up to the front of the mat. Hands to shins, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, root to rise, reaching the hands up to the sky, palms meet above the head in prayer. Exhale, bring the prayer down through the center line. Let's reach up to the sky again. Inhale. Hasta Tadasana, Hasta Uttanasana. And take a bit of a back bend. Separate the hands. Make it nice, make it a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. Let's lengthen the tops of the thighs. Press down with the soles of the feet. Heart is open, neck is long. Lifting the heart up to the heavens. 1 more nice deep breath here. And then on the exhale, we fold forward. All the way down to the ground. Uttanasana. Hands to shins. Halfway lift. Ardha. Uttanasana. Both hands down. Let's step or jump both feet to the back of the mat. All the way back and down. Come down onto the knees. Bring the chest between the hands and lower the body to the ground. Let's walk the legs out nice and long. Pull the elbows into the rib cage. Once again, the chin is tucked in, back of the neck, long and straight. Inhale, lift the heart. And let's push backwards with the toes. Keep the tops of the feet pressing into the mat as we lift into our cobra pose. Exhale, coming back down. We're going to press backwards onto the knees. Tuck the toes under and raise the tailbone up into a downward facing dog. Here for 3 breaths. Lift the sit bone nice and high. Release the crown of the head down. Allow yourself some softness in the shoulders. Allow yourself some flow through the breath. And then bending into both knees. Let's take 3 little bunny hops up to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, pull the belly in, lengthen the back of the neck. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, root to rise. Reaching the hands up to the sky, palms meet above the head. Exhale, bring the prayer down through the center line. We're going to continue to move. Inhale, sweep up. Although we're going to modify the salutations now. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips down. Let's take the right leg back, runner's lunge. Take one breath. Pull the thighs together, lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, bend into the right knee, take the sole of the right foot down to the ground. Inhale, the top of the right foot to the ground. Inhale, reach the hands above the head. Reaching up, Untitled. Exhale, swan dive the hands down. And maybe walk the right leg back a little bit. Give yourself a little bit more of an angle so you can open up that right hip a little bit further. Inhale, reach the hands up, lengthen through the thighs, lengthen through the abdomen. Exhale, come down. Sending the bum towards the right heel. Point the left toes up towards the sky and walk the hands back. So we're lengthening through the back of the left leg. All the way down to the bum. Inhale, come back up. Tuck the right toes underneath and raise the right knee off the ground. Inhale, raising up. Uttanasana into our full lunge. The right heel is off the ground, but we're pressing backwards with the back of the right leg. Oopsie. Lift the heart. Keep the hips low. 2 more breaths. And then folding forward. Taking the hands down to the ground, step the right foot up to meet the left, up to the front of the mat. Hands to shins, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, take the left leg back, runner's lunge. One nice deep breath here. Thighs together, spine long. Exhale, come down onto the left knee, top of the left foot comes to the mat. Inhale, reach the hands up, just for one breath. First version, Untitled. Exhale, fold forward. Walking the left knee back slightly to get a little bit more space in the top of the left hip. Inhale, raise the hands up. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Exhale, come back down. Toes under, press backwards with the left heel. Inhale, raising the whole body up. We come into our full lunge, Uttanasana, 3 breaths. Space in the top of the left hip. Activation in the top of the right thigh. The back of the neck is long, the heart is open. 1 more breath. And exhale, forward fold. Both feet go back. And the chest comes between the hands. Over the toes, we take a cobra. Lengthening through the spine. Exhale, toes under, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. I'm going to walk my downward dog out because that's what feels good to me today. What feels good to you in your down dog? Just focus on the basics, the foundations, what's rooted and what's rising, where we find the balance. 1 more breath. And then let's see if we can take a few little bunny hops up to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, root to rise. Keeping the hands up this time, heel toe the feet together. We're going to go through 1 sun salute B. Exhale, bend into the knees, chair pose. Chin in, spine long, bum back and down. On the exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Both hands go down, step or jump both feet, back out into a high plank and we vinyasa, chest between the hands. Over the toes, cobra pose or knees off the ground, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Right leg comes up, 3-legged dog, and we bring the right foot to the front. Coming down onto the left heel into our warrior 1, inhale, once again. We press backwards with the left foot, we bend into the right knee, but we lift all the way from the bum, through the heart, through the crown of the head, And we keep the center of gravity low. 2. And 1. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg goes back, the chest comes between the hands. Over the toes, we take our cobra pose. Once again, lengthening through the tops of those thighs. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Left leg comes up, 3-legged dog, stretch, stretch, stretch. And left foot comes to the front. Once again, we come down onto the right heel, warrior pose. So there's a different activation in the hips here versus our standard straight lunge, the Ashtachandravasana. With the heel up, there's less activation in the top of the right hip. With the heel down, we can press, we can open. 2. And 1. Exhale, forward fold. Taking the left foot back to meet the right, high plank, and then chest between the hands. Over the toes, cobra pose. Exhale, back over the toes, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in down dog. Let's find some space in the backs of the thighs. Activation through the front of the hip. Because that's really what's picking us up. That's what's giving us this wonderful curve, not the curve, but the fold angle. The apex point of our body. The tailbone rising up to the heavens. The head and the heels sinking, grounding to earth. 1 more breath here. And then looking to the hands, stepping, jumping, hopping, floating. However you want to get the feet up to the front of the mat. Inhale, bring the hands to the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, soften, fold and round. And then root to rise. Reaching the hands up to the sky, palms feet above the head in prayer, and exhale, bring the prayer down through the center line. Separating the hands from the heart, let's find Tadasana. And take a few breaths, just to grab a sip of water if you like, or to ground down, do any adjustments that you need to do before we enter into our standing sequence. Right, so we've done a lot of activation over the standing sequence with the hips facing forward. So now we're going to open up the hips towards the side, starting with our tree posture. So, to the front of the mat, hands to prayer at the heart. We're going to transfer the body's weight into the left foot. Bringing the right knee up into the chest, we open up the hip towards the right-hand side. If you find you struggle with your balance slightly, lower the foot down. Open up the hip. And then allow the head to be above the heart to be above the pelvis. As we spread our toes, pressing with the soles of the feet, the one sole pressing into the ground, the other sole pressing to the inside of the left leg. When this is secure, we can allow the hands to grow, lifting the prayer above the head. See if you can keep the hands in prayer today. If you don't want to, it doesn't matter. But today, see if you can find that little bit of attentional focus, that little bit of pressure between the palms. Pull the elbows back. Lengthen the back of the neck. 2. And 1. Bring the hands back to prayer at the heart, and we're going to step the right foot to the back of the mat. Opening up the hips, twisting towards the right-hand side. Finding our warrior 2. So heel to arch, heel to heel alignment. Picking the hands up, shoulder height. Exhale, bend into the knee. Complete different activation in the hips now. Because now both hips externally rotating. Nothing's facing down the front of the mat except for the left foot, the left knee, the left hand, and our gaze. The rest of the body is twisting, opening, and lengthening, except the center of gravity, which is coming down. Lots happening in our warrior poses. That's what makes them so strong. Their simplicity is in the geometry, but there's so much happening, so much we need to be aware of, and then almost forget, because all we need to do is be in posture and breathe. Zen. They think it's going to be easy, but then they give it rules. Rules we need to learn, and then forget, just to allow ourselves to be. Anyway, reversing the warrior. Bring the right hand down, open up the left palm to the sky. Sweep the left hand back as we inhale, lengthen out the left hand side of the body. On the exhale, bring the left elbow down to the left knee. You can keep the right hand on the right hip and roll the right shoulder back. Once again, lifting and opening through the pelvis, opening up the hips. If it's available, take the gaze to the sky and reach the right hand up and over, past the head. Inhale, find length in the body. Exhale, roll the shoulder back. I have a strange feeling I got my rights and my lefts wrong there, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Self-doubt just trickled in. 3 breaths. And 2. And on the next inhale, come back up, warrior 2. Through our full standing sequence, we now lengthen out the left leg to move into Uttanasana, the triangle posture. Right hand comes to the right hip, and we then lean the left arm past the left ankle, still keeping that lovely straight line. Once the hand's gone past, we can exhale, taking the left hand down to the left shin, or down to the ground. Rolling the right shoulder back, look up to the sky. Inhale, activate through the thighs, lift the hips and twist open. And then if available, allow the right hand to follow the gaze up to the heavens as we find our Uttanasana. 3 and 2 and 1. Looking down to the front foot, inhale, pivot back up to standing and bring the hands to prayer. Step the right foot up to meet the left to the front of the mat. We're going to move into our second standing balance on the side, which is our Uttanasana, eagle posture. So bringing the right knee up into the chest again, cross the right ankle over the left thigh and open up into this lovely figure of 4 shape, if I can hold it. Or wrap right thigh over left, taking the right foot around the left calf muscle. Inhale, find length, and then exhale, keeping the hands of prayer at the heart. Start to bend into the left knee, dropping the bum down. If you'd like to wrap the hands as well, opposite wrap to the legs. The left goes over the right. We lift the fingers to face the sky and lift the elbows to keep the spine nice and vertical. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, release, come back down. Let's get the sole of the right foot down onto the ground as we transfer back into our tree pose. Hands to come to prayer. Left knee comes into the chest and we open up the hip towards the left-hand side. Engage through the core, reach the crown of the head up. When the roots are ready, the branches will naturally grow. Once again, I invite you to try and keep the palms together, to keep that activation through the shoulders, the back of the neck long, Jalandhara Bandha engaged, the breath flowing freely through the body, the mind hopefully quietening. Just paying attention to what's happening on the mat. The breath and the body finding balance. Union. Into our warrior 2. The hands come back to the heart center. We bring the left knee to the middle, step the left foot to the back of the mat. Twisting open once again, we pick up the hands, shoulder height, heel to arch, heel to heel, and then bend into the right knee. Dropping the center of gravity down. Always good to make sure that that right knee is nice and straight, that the hips are opening, that the spine is long. And trying not to go too far forward, trying not to go too far back, but just allowing yourself to balance. 3 more breaths. then releasing the left hand down, pick the right hand up and over, stretching open the right hand side of the body. Fill up full of air, and then exhale. Right elbow down to the right knee, the left hand to the left hip, roll the left shoulder back. Inhale, engage through the hips, lift and twist. And then, if available, pick the left hand up and over past the head. 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale, coming back up into warrior 2. Lengthen out the right leg. Taking the left hand to the left hip, we extend the right arm past the right ankle, and then pivot. Taking the right hand to the right shin, roll the left shoulder back. If it's available, find length, and then twist, releasing the left hand up to the sky. We're here for 5 nice long breaths. Engaging through the hips, pressing through the thighs, pressing through the soles of the feet. The toes not gripping onto the mat, but providing that little bit of balance for us. 2, and 1. And looking down to the front foot, inhale, pivot back up to standing. Bringing the hands back to prayer. Step the left foot all the way up to meet the right to the front of the mat. And then crossing left ankle over the right thigh, or wrapping left thigh over right thigh. Inhale, find lift into the heart, and exhale, bend and start to open up the back of the hips. If it's available, move with our eagle arms as well. Always the opposite wrap to the legs. So this time, right over left, lift the elbows, expand the back, expand the whole of the back of the body. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. On your next inhale, unwrap the body, come back down, Uttanasana, mountain pose. Maybe give the legs a shake, the shoulders a roll. Just note how you feel, how every time. Awesome. Taking the right leg back, once again, we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So we want to step the feet up nice and wide. Make sure the toes are facing forward or in slightly. Just don't get them facing out. Protect your knees. Inhale, reach the hands up, lift to lengthen. And on the exhale, sticking the tailbone out, lift the sit bones up. As you exhale, fold over that central line. If the hands don't touch the ground, hold the elbows. If the hands do touch the ground, press the palms into the mat. Lift the sit bones up and exhale, bend into the elbows, folding forward. We're here for 5 breaths. Inhale, tailbone comes up. Exhale, fold forward. Back of the legs long, feet active. The breath even. Equal part inhale, equal part exhale. 2 more. And 1. Up halfway, hands to hips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale up the whole way. Stepping back up to the front of the mat. Inhale, sweep up both hands. We now take a standard forward fold. Exhale over the legs. Hands to shins. Inhale halfway. Make sure that we've heel-toed the feet underneath the hips as we prepare for our Uttanasana. Bringing the belly and the chest onto the thighs. If the hands don't touch the ground, hold on to the opposite elbows. Inhale, lift the sit bones, and exhale, fold forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, and inhale, bring the hands to the shins, come up halfway. Exhale, take both hands down, step or jump both feet to the back of the mat and come all the way down onto the belly. All the way back and down. We're going to counterpose the forward fold by taking Shavasana, locust posture. Releasing the hands next to you, pull the thighs together, palms facing the sky. Inhale, squeeze the back as we lift the heart, lift the hands, and lift the legs off the ground. Exhale, come back down. 5 of these. So 4, inhale, lift. Exhale, come down. Lift everything you can. Even if it's only 30, 40%, find some length in the front of the body, find activation in the back. 2. And the last one, we're going to hold for 5 breaths. Inhale, engage, and lift. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, come down, hands underneath the shoulders, pressing the bum back onto the heels. Take an extended child's pose for 5 breaths. Counterposing the locust. Inhale, tuck the tailbone in, around the back and press. Last one. And coming forward onto all fours. We can either swing the knees up the side quickly, or cross the legs behind you and roll backwards and take a seat. We're going to come back to Sukhasana, come back to an easy posture. I want to take a nice big twist. Note which of your shins is in the front. Okay, for me at the moment, my left shin is in the front, so I'm going to use the opposite hand. I'm going to take my right hand to the left knee. So whichever shin is in front, take the opposite hand, and we're going to twist that way. Taking the opposite hand, either next to you or behind you. Inhale, lift the crown of the head. And exhale, start to engage through the hips and twisting open across the dominant leg. 5 breaths. Inhale, lengthen the spine, engage through the hips. As you exhale, start twisting as low as you can. Down onto the sit bones. Through, up, past the lumbar spine, past the thoracic spine, up through the back of the neck, up to the crown of the head as we take the chin to the shoulder. 2, and 1. And on the inhale, come back to center. Vertebra by vertebra, take your time. And we're going to swap the dominant leg, so take the other shin in front. And then twist it exactly the same, just the opposite way. So taking the hand to the knee, the opposite hand either next to you or behind you. Inhale, pressing to the ground, lift to lengthen, and then exhale, start twisting. Once we've started to move into the posture, then we can take our 5 breaths. Inhale, 5 for length. Exhale, 5 for depth. 4. 3. 2. And inhale, come back to center. Soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. This time we are going to fold forward. So the heels are as close to the bum as possible, hips are open, knees as close to the ground as your body will let you. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Maybe walk the sit bones back a little bit so we can keep the pelvis neutral. And then exhale, start folding over, releasing the heart down towards the arches of the feet. You're going to take 10 breaths here. And in our standing sequence, we have tendency to work on more strength, more balance. In our seated sequence, our more meditative poses, we use for flexibility. We use to introduce the idea of elasticity into the body. Redistributing all of that strong energy that we brought in with the standing sequence now into a place where we can channel it. We can use it. 3. And 2. And 1. On your next inhale, coming back up. We're going to bring the knees together, and then we're going to roll onto our backs. Keep the soles of the feet onto the ground, and the heels close up to the bum. You're going to raise into a hip bridge. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Tuck the chin in, make sure the back of the neck is nice and protected, and then pressing with the soles of the feet, we begin to lift the bum up off the ground. Adjust the shoulder blades to provide you support. Walk them in towards each other. And then let's lift and lengthen. Much like the same stretch that we were doing when we opened up the top of the thighs earlier. Same stretch, same muscles. This time, both of them, however. Remember, no weight in the head, no weight in the back of the neck. And if you like, take the hands underneath the buttocks and support yourself, or interlace the hands behind the back to press the back of the arms down into the ground to provide you with that extra bit of lift. We're here for another 3. And 2. And 1. On the exhale, let's slowly start to come down, releasing the spine to the ground. When the bum touches, bring both knees into the chest and wrap the hands around the legs. Give yourself a hug and gently rock from side to side. Uttanasana. Noticing any sensations that may need addressing, or just noting how you feel. 2 more. And I want us to come down into a twist. So releasing the soles of the feet to the ground. And let's keep the feet a little bit wider than hip width distance. Inhale, bring the arms back to cactus. And exhale, I think we should do that. Exhale, drop the knees down to the left-hand side as we open up the right-hand side of the body. Inhale, find length. And then exhale, take the chin across the body towards the right shoulder. So the knees are going in one direction, the chin and the nose in the opposite. We're here for 5. 4. 3. 2. Inhale, coming back up to center. Let's swap it straight over. Knees to the right, gaze to the left. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. 5. 4. 3. 2. And on the next inhale, bring everything back to center. Soles of the feet together. Open up the knees, but slide the hands in between the legs. Pick the feet up off the ground. And either grabbing the shins, the ankles, or the outsides of the feet. Open up the soles of the feet towards the sky as we take another balasana. Happy baby pose. And we're here for 5. Explore the release into the lower back. Maybe explore some length into the backs of the legs. Explore the activation of the shoulders and the breath. 3 and 2 and 1. Releasing the feet, slide them out into the corners of the mat as we find Shavasana, corpse pose. Friends, if you'd like to put on any socks or any jerseys for the meditation, now would be your time to do so. Otherwise, grab a blanket, light some incense. Or if you can, just commit to the posture. No worries, no fear. Just like any other pose you would do on the mat. Allow the body to rest. And perhaps even look at yourself and say thank you. Appreciate what your body has just done for you, even if it was difficult. Or maybe it was easy. Give yourself a little bit of thanks. Thank you for making the effort. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for nourishing me. Thank you for educating me. We allow ourselves to sink into a little bit of gratitude. Not only to give those thanks, but to take them. And complete the cycle. Maybe that's our lesson for today. Not only to say thank you, but to graciously accept when people have done stuff for us. Maybe a thank you for the sound of birdsong. Hot water. The rising sun. And then taking a nice deep breath. Let's pick the hands above the head and have a stretch. Stretch, 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 like you were just waking up. And then exhale, bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Gently rock from side to side. Bringing the nose up to the knees. Round yourself into a ball. Give yourself a squeeze. Then let's make our way back up into a seat. Either rolling onto the right hand side and picking yourself up with the left hand, or rocking and rolling along the length of the spine. We meet with head above heart and heart above pelvis. The backs of the hands to the tops of the knees, the thumb and the forefinger together. Take 5 nice deep breaths here. I do apologize, I have run over time a little. So if you do need to go in a hurry, feel free to go, friends. If you can, take these few breaths. If you can do them now, great. If not, do them later. and bringing the hands to pray. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Take care, friends. Have a lovely week. Eat the good food, breathe the good air, get into nature a little bit if you can. Releasing the hands from prayer. Inhale, sweep them up the sides of the walls. Once again, bringing the hands on Jani Mudra, the prayer above the head, and we lower the equanimity of the heavens and let the thumbs rest in front of the eyes. And on your adventures, my friends, may peace be with your thoughts. We lower the prayer in front of the mouth, and my friends, may peace be with your actions. Then lowering the prayer in front of the heart center. My friends, may peace be with your hearts. Now let's close the practice with the chanting of one Om. Inhaling through the nose. Time is precious. Use ours wisely, because friends, your time is once again yours. Thank you once again. Have a lovely week. Have a lovely day. I'll see some of you later. I'll see some of you tomorrow. And namaste. All right.
Thank you, Kevin. See you tomorrow.
My pleasure. And thank you, Kelly, for joining us. It's lovely to have you down here. If you have any feedback or anything, please feel free to send it my way. I'm very open to stuff like that. Also, if there's things you'd like to work on, if you're intending on attending these practices regularly, just let me know. I'll gladly start to incorporate them into the classes. Some of them are more meditative, some of them are more storytelling, some of them are very active. So, you know, it's a whole big mishmash of things. I'm taking things from all sorts of different schools and combining them into one. So yeah, thank you very much. Absolute pleasure to have you in.
Thank you.
Yay. Cool. Anybody got anything they'd like to add, anything they'd like to say? Otherwise, I'm going to call it quits and make my way to Beckenham to go and teach out there.
Okay. Have fun. See you tomorrow.
Thank you kindly. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.